what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. I'm back here in my backyard because you know what? We have that midsize sedan that is receiving a little bit of a performance pack punch. This is it, new for 2021, the Hyundai Sonata N Line. But before we get into this sport midsize sedan, let's talk about what's going on here. Hyundai. They've been around in the United States since the 1980s, selling vehicles, but you know what? Not only has the brand gone through some big major changes, but also their lineup. Now the Sonata is that mid-size sedan, so when we say that, we're talking about it going up against vehicles like the mighty Honda Accord, the mighty Toyota Camry, the long-standing Mazda 6, and then of course that sister brand, the Kia K5. Now for 2021, they decided to take that N performance line and bring it to the Sonata in a little bit of a different way. This being an N line version is not a true blown performance sports sedan, but we're definitely bringing more power, more style, and even better handling. Now what I want to do with this review is I want to compare it to that sister brand, the Kia K5 GT, with turbocharged power, front wheel drive base, just like this vehicle. Which one should you go with? Because they're both brand new for 2021, and we'll also talk about the others, the Mazda 6 turbo, of course, the Honda Accord Sport 2-liter turbo, and the Toyota Camry TRD, the only one with a naturally aspirated V6. But why don't we go ahead, we got this Sonata N Line, let's check it out and get ready to go on throttle to see, is it the one you should be buying, that sport performance sedan, front wheel drive base that you should be buying over the Kia K5 GT? Let's find out. Right off the bat, the styling. When Hyundai unveiled this at the New York Auto Show in 2019, this styling really got a lot of people's attention, and it's still looking really sharp. Now, when you go N-Line performance, the great news is you're getting some specific touches, but let's just kind of recap a little bit. You're gonna get, of course, those LED headlights, LED daytime running lamps, and one of the things that shocked the whole world, including myself, was the hidden lighting lamp that actually runs all the way up into the fender and then blends into the shiny metal trim on the fender. Really, really nice the way they kind of brought something totally different to the table when it comes to LED daytime running lamps. Now on the N Line, you're gonna get a specific front fascia. It all starts with this lower corner area. Now you do have a free-flowing side air curtain. The zonk though is that we have non-functionality out of this section. It would have been nice to maybe get some brake cooling, or even better, put some LED fog lamps down here, kind of angled in this boomerang shape. I think that really would have set it off. But the way that they took the front fascia and extended it down really shows that nice aggressive look, but it's also for aerodynamic purposes as well. Now, as we come across that center grille, large, you know, a lot of people calling it a catfish, a lot of people calling it a whale shark, definitely stands out from the rest of the crowd. And between the K5 GT and the Sonata N Line, very, very unique styling from those two different brands. Now you are getting a lot of gloss black, but this is specific to the N Line trim. They do give you an N Line badge on the passenger side. Very, very tasteful. And remember, the only true N performance vehicle right now in the United States is the Veloster N. That's gonna change with the Elantra N, the Kona N, and we'll see if they're actually gonna bring a full-blown Sonata N. Working your way down, I love the full functionality of this lower mid area, the way they take the front fascia, extend it down to help scoop air for the intercooler, for the radiator, but you can see the width. As I almost fall, we're gonna keep on going, you can see the width of the front end. If you're comparing it to the K5 GT, I know beauty's in the eye of the beholder, I'm going K5 GT. This is a little too, I don't know, kind of in your face, and there's a lot of gloss black, which is going to be interesting to see how that wears over time. But as we get up on that low slung hood, they do give you a mini bulge that actually raises and goes all the way towards the windshield. Everything else is going to coast right towards those A-pillars. Coming around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. First of all, look at the functionality and the extra style that they bring to these vents on the side of the front fascia, but then we focus on our wheel and tire setup. So you're gonna be getting these 19-inch wheels, machined aluminum with that dark metallic gray finish, the N badging, and if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of this? 245 on the width, 40 series sidewall. Remember, this is front wheel drive, Nice, large, fully ventilated rotors. And it's not like they just add extra horsepower. They did retune the suspension and the chassis for the extra performance. And wait until we go on throttle. It's gonna surprise you. Love the nice hard edge body line, especially here up top. The way it extends off, they give you a tasteful N Line badge, not too high, not too low, looking sharp. And then as we coast down the rest of the vehicle, you can see that shiny bright metalwork. I think the way I would have went with the N Line is do dark chrome. Have this be dark chrome and then maybe smoke this a little bit, just smoke it out. Would have made it look a little bit more sporty. But that trim goes all the way down the side of the vehicle. You do get gloss black on the mirror caps, LED turn signals. There's more of that bright, shiny metalwork, both top and bottom. That would have looked so much sharper, dark chrome finish. But look, they blacked out the whole roof. You have a panoramic sunroof, and they blacked out the whole section, rear and front, and gave it a black shark fin antenna. We look at vehicles that cost twice the amount of the Sonata N Line that don't do that. Down below, you're gonna get that really, really sexy side sill extension. Look at the aero work. As it comes towards the rear, it kind of flares out. All the body lines. This car shows so much movement, even though it's sitting still in this parking lot. Another zonk besides the shiny bright metalwork up top is on the door handles. Should have just color matched it or went dark chrome. That would have been a little bit sportier touch. I feel like chrome takes away the sporty feel of things. But as we work our way back, everything else is still gonna be same great Sonata, just like you've already seen on Raiti's rides. And then when we come out back, you're gonna get this very, very tasteful trunk lid spoiler, kicks up, flows nicely with the taillights. If you're wondering, what are these things? Are these buttons? No, they're actually vortex generators. As air comes off the rear glass, it gets cleaned up as it hits this back area and just rushes off the back. You do have LED lighting all the way across, top and bottom. The Sonata badge, you see how I was saying if you go black chrome, it would look super sharp. But as we drop down, you do have this gloss black lower bumper area. Look at the exhaust. Nice quad tip on both sides, not just one side, but both sides. I like the way they slash cut it to make it fit clean with the lower diffuser area. But while we pop the hood, let's check out what's powering the Sonata N Line as we compare it to the K5 GT. All right, guys, we popped the hood. You do have hydraulic hood struts. Lots of the competitors, like the Toyota Camry, like the Honda, they have prop rods. We have hydraulic hood struts. Underneath that hood, like I was telling you, you're gonna get a little bit more of a performance pack punch. Engine cover is tasteful, and you'll notice those letters, TURBO, turbocharged power. So you're looking at a 2.5 liter inline-4 turbocharged engine, 290 horsepower, 311 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed DCT. So this is a dual clutch transmission, same transmission from the Veloster N 8-speed DCT. It's a wet clutch system, which is different from the dry clutch 7-speed DCT that you have found in other Hyundai vehicles. 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds. Quarter mile goes by at 13.6 at 106 miles an hour. Top speed is 155 miles an hour. MPG is not too shabby. 23 in the city, 33 on the highway, and the car weighs 3,541 pounds. If you're comparing this to the rest of the mid-size performance segment that's front-wheel drive, this is right on par with the Kia K5. It makes sense. Sister brands. Little down on horsepower from the Camry and the Accord, but more horsepower than the Mazda 6. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire it up and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this 2021 Hyundai Sonata N Line. I know you're saying, well, Joe, I've been looking at the Kia K5 GT. I remember watching your review. I've looked at the Accord Sport 2-liter turbo, the Mazda 6 with the turbocharged engine, and of course that Toyota Camry TRD. It really is hard to choose. How much is this one? MSRP for the way that this one is optioned is right at $34,000. Let's see what you get for the money to the door panels. Finally, Hyundai has done some nice style to the door panel. You have soft touch material up top. I like the gray interior, something different than all black. You'll notice you get the Bose sound system. Look at the way they did the work with the door handle. That nice dark chrome finish flows into the rest of the door panel. The red contrast stitching, nice soft material on the armrest. Door pocket is a little small. Bottle of water and maybe 4 Pop-Tarts, and that is about it. But going from the door panel to the dash, same story. Great material. The red stitching is very tasteful. I love the way that they sunk the AC vents into the actual dash area so they don't like stick out. Really, really clean styling. And then as you work your way to the center stack here, this is where the technology is prominent. You have 10.25 inches of infotainment. It is Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and navigation. Is it a touchscreen? Of course it's a touchscreen. Very easy to navigate through. You could sit and chill and relax. Just don't Netflix and chill in here. You might get yourself in trouble. It even gives you the weather report. Very, very easy to navigate through. Bring up the navigation again. Let me throw it in reverse. There's your backup camera. You don't have 360-degree cameras with the N Line like you do in other top trims on the Sonata. But working your way down, see the AC vents really clean. You got your dark chrome start stop button. Just a little bit of gloss black up top. Dual climate control. And then as you work your way down, you are getting large connectivity. 12 volt, 2 USBs, wireless charging. My only zonk is that there's no lid here. I wish they would have put some kind of cover with the N Line badge. You do have heated seats, but no ventilated seats. Working our way around the corner, what do we got? You do have a Hyundai N Performance Twinkie holder. So when you're doing your autocross event, you can bring some extra Twinkies for the people that you beat. And then this is how you're gonna operate that 8-speed DCT, dual clutch transmission with the wet clutches. It is that push button transmission setup. I wish they would have went something different than gloss black. It's a little gloss black heavy here, but I do like the N Performance badge. You do have your drive mode selector switch, and I will show you more of that when you come to the business end of things. See this finish here? They should have done more of this dark gray finish. It doesn't show fingerprints and there's no glare off of it, but it looks really great. 2 cup holders. You do have your standard key fob with remote start. Spin it around, it just has the regular Hyundai badge, no M badge on the key fob. Semi-soft to almost hard on the armrest, but I like the red stitching. Open it up, what do we got? Enough room for a 5-pound bag of Skittles. Drop that back in there, and then the seats are N Sport line specific. So you have wonderful leather style material, the red stitching. Look at the N embroidery. Love this microfiber suede material. Nice bolstering, looks sporty. Manual controls on the passenger side. Guess what though? You're the captain of this ship. You get full electric assist over here. And then on top of that, you are gonna have that panoramic sunroof I showed you on the outside. Easy to operate, vitamin D for everybody. But why don't you come over to the business side? I wanna show you behind the wheel of the Sonata N Line. Right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do get a wonderful foot box straight from Hyundai. So you're gonna get this very, very large dead pedal, brake and throttle, all aluminum touches, looks classy. You even have the Sonata N Line floor mats, good for an extra 5 horsepower. And then there are all your seat controls. The great news, you see this little guy right here? You could actually adjust the bolstering, how it hugs onto you. And that's one of my favorite touches in this vehicle. I'm 6 feet tall, I got plenty of headroom. Steering wheel. I'm starting to learn to like the steering wheels in these Hyundai Sonatas. Horn button is a little rental car cheap, so I am gonna zonk that, especially with the chrome badge here. It would have been nice to have that blacked out, but you do have the N Line badge here. Red stitching, I like the dark chrome finish in this area. Flat black on the buttons, and then you do have paddles on the back of the steering wheel to go up and down that 8-speed DCT. Manual tilt and telescoping steering wheel, but what we have is that 12 inches of digital dash pleasure. I love the graphics. Right now we're in sport mode. You got the sport performance gauges in the center. You go through the different modes and look at how it changes up. Go to normal, bam. Go back to sport, really, really clean, we're gonna go Sport Plus. That is new on this N line, or you could custom set it exactly the way you want. No head-up display, but that's okay because this is really large, clear, and easy to read. Let's get to the back seat, see how your passengers are gonna enjoy as you go down your twisty bits in this Sonata N Line. We've been looking at the front seat area, and definitely when you're comparing it to the K5 GT, the Sonata N Line does win when it comes to technology, especially that full digital display. Back seat area is very, very spacious, just like the K5 GT, just like the Accord. Mazda 6 is probably gonna be the one that comes up the shortest on the amount of rear passenger room, but let's see what you have back here. Now, they do have the plastic on the backs of the seats. Not my favorite, but I know if you're a parent, the kids kick this, they punch this, it's easy to take care of. No pocket on the driver's side behind that driver's seat. Now, you do have rear AC vents, which is nice, and you have a USB, so they do give you a little bit of connectivity. On my side, I have that cargo net. Not my favorite, so I am gonna zonk it, but at least I have a place to put my abacus, maybe my juggling balls, or some dice that I've just been rolling around, playing some gambling games or something. But back seat room, tons of space. Pull this bad boy down. I would say it's soft as Charmin. It's more like Scott tissue paper, or toilet paper, I should say. It's a little bit on the stiff side. 2 cup holders. I love the style of the seats back here, but why don't we go ahead and get to the trunk, because I'm dying to go on throttle in our Sonata N Line. All right, guys, time to get in the trunk. See how it stacks up against the competition. You just hit the button on the key fob, pops up. You're gonna get 16 cubic feet of space. That really is gonna line it up perfectly with all the other competitors in this segment. The seats do fold down, which is wonderful, and what you're gonna do is you're just gonna pull these easy to get to release handles to fold the seats down, but plenty of space. And then the even better news is, even though this is a performance style sedan, you are getting a spare tire setup, which a lot of the brands are cutting out. But why don't we go ahead, we're gonna put this in Sport Mode Plus. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go on throttle in our Sonata N Line. All right, guys, we're in the 2021 Hyundai Sonata N Line. I have it in Sport Plus mode, of course. We're gonna see how that 8-speed DCT is gonna do the business, but we're gonna come to a slow roll here and we're gonna go on throttle. Here we go, drops down and we're off. Yeah, here we go. Nice fast shifts. On the brakes, downshift. Good grip from the front end. This is fun. On those brakes, look at this. Nice. There we go. All right, let's talk about what's going on here. So, actually not too shabby. Getting the power to the ground would be nice to have a limited slip differential, but 290 horsepower, when you're comparing that to, of course, the Kia K5 GT, that falls closest in alignment with this vehicle, and it makes sense since it is the sister Kia brand. But of course, throwing the Accord Sport 2-liter turbo and Touring 2-liter turbo, really interesting how similar and different they are. The Sonata N Line, the power is much more present, and the way the 8-speed DCT does its thing, very, very well engineered. The shifts are quick, the shifts are smooth, it helps keep the chassis dynamics nice and settle, and really does the business nicely. I'm looking forward to using the paddles. And remember, the 8-speed has totally different setup than the 7-speed DCT. You know, they bring extra transmission cooling to it. We're talking about a wet clutch compared to dry clutches, so there is definitely a difference between the two. On the interior, the seats are so amazing, especially the way that you have the power assist to adjust the bolstering, which is very nice. The digital display, nobody's doing it like Hyundai. Even the Kia K5, the Camry TRD, the Mazda 6, nobody has a full digital display. Nice to have those auxiliary gauges in the center cluster. You have that 10.25-inch infotainment system screen. Love the thickness of the steering wheel, and I'm actually getting really great feedback. A limited slip diff would go a long way, but still great feedback. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna put it into manual shift mode, and we're gonna go through the 8-speed DCT ourselves and see how it communicates with the on-throttle experience. But visibility is great, very rock solid and stable. Not a lot of push, not a lot of understeer when you're coming out of the corners as you would expect from a front-wheel drive car. But let me go ahead. You do have a small gear indicator in the upper left-hand corner. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. Nice quick shifts. Dab of the brakes. On the brakes, downshift. Nice, look at that. Back on the brakes. Here we go, here we go. Nice! Woo! Smooth on the downshifts. I do like the noise that is coming into the cabin. I think I would like a little bit more natural noise coming from the exhaust, and it wouldn't hurt any just to have a couple pops and bangs every now and then. But definitely a fun experience, and it's going to be interesting to see if they do a full-blown N version of the Sonata. But definitely this N line brings a little bit more, and it's not just about the horsepower, the extra horsepower performance, that 2.5 liter inline four turbocharged engine, but we're also talking about the chassis dynamics, the suspension dynamics, and everything else that comes into play. All right, guys, I'm going to come to a complete stop. We're going to left foot brake, and we're going to go on throttle from a dead stop. I do have it back in full automatic mode, and I'm not taking it at a Sport Plus mode. That is the mode to put the biggest smile on your face. But if you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go, yeah! Woo! You have that launch control, lots of power getting to the front wheels. A chirping tire is a happy tire, that's what I always say. Here we go, look at this. Nice! Little pivot from the back. Who would have ever thought you could have this much fun in a Sonata? This N line really definitely is for that person that wants that little extra performance, that whole enthusiast feel, the style of it, the way that it drives. It really allows you to have a little bit of everything. And at this price point, it's unbelievable what they're able to bring to the table, especially when you look at the interior, the technology. Yeah, it's missing some of the things that you love from Hyundai, like those corner cameras when you turn on your turn signals in the dash. And I would like a nice lid over that center console area where the wireless charging is. But other than that, they did a real bang-up job. And the fact that they're able to get the power to ground pretty effectively without the limited slip diff is very, very surprising. Great feeling in the steering wheel. Now the Honda and Mazda has a little bit more feeling, more communication from the front wheels, but definitely when it comes to power and balance, this Sonata N line is on the money, man. All right, guys, here we go. Slow roll. On throttle, drops down, and we are off. It's nicer to do it from a roll because you are able to get the power to the ground a lot more effectively, for sure. Look at this. Gets up to speed. On the brakes, feeling good. Look at this. Yeah! Woo! Nice! I tell you, this mid-size sedan is on it. On the brakes. Look at that, I was able to stay flat through that transition. Back on the brakes. Good pedal feel too. Nice. I actually like driving the car better in full automatic mode, believe it or not. The paddles, it doesn't exactly want to drop down to the next lowest gear when I want it, but when I leave it in automatic mode, it seems to be in that gear exactly that I want so that I could rock it out of the corner onto the next. But boy, oh boy, Hyundai has come a long way, and this is through their road racing programs, their World Rally Championship programs, the whole 9 yards in this vehicle. Can't wait to see what they're gonna bring with their full-blown N versions of the Tucson. We already know the Veloster N. Obviously, we're gonna be having a Kona N and a Elantra N. So, exciting things coming from this brand for sure. All right, guys, one more time for you. Definitely one more time for me. Having a blast in this Sonata N Line. On throttle, here we go. Woo! Nice. Quick shifts. Breathe the throttle a little bit, then get back on. Here we go. Yeah. Nice. I tell you, the front end grip is really surprising on this thing. Look at this. So smooth. It really is a blast to drive. You got the technology, you got all the different pieces that add up to this bigger picture, and like I said, at the price point, how can you argue with this thing and the mind-blowing warranty you're gonna get? But hopefully this opened up your eyes to the Sonata N Line, if your eyes haven't been open already. But we are gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. I'll see you guys in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another great day with this Hyundai Sonata N Line. I definitely want to thank everybody over at Hyundai USA for allowing Raity's Rides access to this press suite vehicle. It really goes to show that, you know what, you can have some performance, you can have that everyday usability. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Would you go Sonata N Line over a K5 GT, or would you go one of the other brands, the Honda, the Toyota, or the Mazda? Very curious to know what you think. Put it in the comment section. If you want to keep seeing performance style sports sedans on Raity's Rides, put that in the comment section as well. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raity's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you in the channel, click the first link in the description. Get yourself some Raity's Rides merch, just like that. Click the second link, become a Raity's Rides Patreon member. See the behind the scenes stuff. Definitely want to thank the muscle behind the camera, Lori, working that like a turbocharged champ. Show her some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.